So if you guys watched the last two unplanned vlogs, you know that our chicken Sunny was not doing well. For a while there, we thought she was doing better. She seemed to be doing better, but she wasn't actually eating. It just seemed like her spirits were up. But unfortunately, she passed away. She died early yesterday morning, unfortunately. So we just buried her there in the freezing cold. Wow, it's way warmer in here, eh? So yeah, that's a bummer about Sunny. But she had a good life with us. She made it to her life expectancy, which is about 4 to 6 years. Oh, you're so cold. And she lived to be about 5, we're guessing, based off of the amount of time we've had her and what the guesstimation that the previous owners had her for. So, yeah. She was a trooper. Broke her beak twice. Got caught by a fox.
Played dead?
Yeah, played dead and tricked the fox into going after one of her Coop mates. And then escaped Hank a couple times. So she knew how to live. It's a bummer because our chickens are pets to us. And yeah, now she's gone.
But when she passed away in your arms.
Yeah, she did. It was sweet, if I can say that. I don't know, that sounds kind of corny, but yeah, we just kind of held her until she died. Anyway, oh babe, Ashley really loves her chickens, so that's a bummer that she died, but she was good. So what we're actually doing today in yet another unplanned vlog is we're going to make some improvements to their indoor coop, the rest of our birds. The polar vortex was supposed to last a weekend, but now they're forecasting it into the next week here. So what we're gonna do here, because it's hard to clean the coop there because it's so low. Jeez, that's heavier than I thought it would be. We're going to raise the roof. Raise the roof. So, what I mean by raise the roof is literally like raise the roof of this so that it's easier to walk under there. Now that the polar vortex is going to last longer than they said it would, big surprise there, it will make it a little more convenient to utilize this space. And that means no more crouching down under here, scooping poop and collecting eggs. We got 2 eggs in there right now. We'll grab those in a second, but first let's do some modifications. There, just like that, we have vast improvements, although it's still not much to look at least not compared to the to their regular home out there. But it's it'll do. If it makes chores easier, then that's good enough for being temporary. Yeah. So one thing about chickens is they almost immediately spill their food, and then you gotta constantly fill it up because sometimes, for whatever reason, they don't peck their food out of the shavings, and I don't know why that is. Oh, Oh, it looks like Nugget is laying an egg, or going to lay an egg, or what?
Or sitting on it.
Or sitting. Oh, I bet you because someone just laid an egg. It's probably.
I think it was Minnie.
Minnie just laid an egg. Okay.
Yeah, so Nugget's sitting on it.
In here, since it's a little more chaotic. Oh, they already spilt their food, just like I said. Since it's a little more chaotic, the eggs kind of roll around all over the place, and every time you walk in here, if they lay one or even the fake eggs, they'll kind of just be here and there instead of just in the nest boxes like they normally are. Although last night when we came in here, so just checking on the birds at night here, and right in the back there you can kind of see 3 eggs. 2 of them are fake and 1 of them is real. The lighter colored one there is the real one. Well, earlier tonight, those 2 darker ones, those fake ones, were spread out. One was about here and the other one was over there. So probably Nugget, we're guessing, decided to group them all together into one little spot so she could sit on them. But it looks like she's not brooding anymore, so that's good.
I'm all waking up because of the light.
Sorry, girls. Didn't mean to wake you up. Another cool thing is that they all are on the main roost. They've all made room for each other. Maybe because they feel sad about Sunny and they want to be together. That's probably not it because they're chickens, but I like to think that's why. Hopefully this cold snap doesn't last too long. It's already going longer than they initially said, but I would like to have this space to be able to do some paintings here in the next little while. I got some new ideas and old ideas that I would like to put on canvas here. I bet you some of you are wondering, are we cleaning the coop more often than usual since it's in here? And the answer is no. Ashley actually cleans the coop every single day, just like this. Sometimes twice a day, depending on how dirty it gets. Because, believe it or not, chicken crap does not smell good. So the more often you clean it out, the better, obviously. Okay. Is it okay if I put this in here?
Yeah, over there.
There we go.
This was from one of the people in one of the gift openings last year. Gave us this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I remember that actually.
I feel like it was Christine, but I'm not sure if that's the right name or not. But thank you.
All right, and what kind of eggs did we have?
This one looks like Minnie.
Minnie.
I'm with you.
Oh, she's all pecky.
She's pecking everything. And
One under Nugget there.
this one's a fake egg.
A fake.
And this one.
And that one.
I don't actually know who laid this.
Who would you guess?
Probably Peep, but hers are usually darker than this.
Okay, well, Minnie and Peep. So Peep is here. Minnie is that one. You can see her tail right there. That bird and this bird, we got them because they were supposed to lay. Hey, she's pecking me too.
Yeah, she's just super curious.
We got them because they are supposed to lay, or often lay, blue eggs, but they don't. They do have a little bit of a pink hue to them, which is cool, but they're not as pink as pink eggs. But they're definitely really far away from blue or even green. So, I mean, we still like these birds, but like, what the heck, guys? So we're gonna probably adopt some other birds that may lay blue eggs, or at least green eggs. That would be kind of cool. What's Nugget's deal? She was just sitting on that egg, yeah?
Yeah, she was. I think she's Broody.
She's like in and out of it.
Yeah, or maybe she's gonna lay an egg, but
Maybe she will.
she's not growling at me or like pecking me or anything.
So
When she's Broody, she usually like growl.
yeah, and they get really much warmer than their normal warmness. Does she feel warmer than normal?
No, not really.
No?
She's warm, but
Okay. So, last time I mentioned something about snapping her out of her broodiness.
oh, Pete.
Peep, get in there.
Escaping.
Get back in jail. Just kidding. This isn't jail. This is, what do you call it? It's like when you go to stay at a place that you end up not liking because your own house is better. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the broodiness. So some people ask, like, what does it mean to snap them out of the broodiness? I mentioned that last time. That basically means, or how do we do that, I guess was the question. How do you do that? You can do it a few ways. One way, which seems to be pretty popular among people, but seems kind of like weird, is to dunk them in cold water. Definitely not something that we would do.
Definitely not in winter.
Yeah, especially in winter, especially now.
It's a Canadian-friendly idea.
Yeah, maybe you could do that in the summer. Basically what it does is it lowers their body temperature, and it kind of like tricks their system into thinking that they don't want to be a mom. Other ways you can is you just constantly kick them out of the nest box, and one other way would be to keep them away from a nest box, and then they'll have to just kind of sit wherever, and it kind of it's not the same because it's not sheltered or anything, and then oftentimes they'll just leave the broody stage.
Separate her away from.
Oh yeah, that's another way. You can also keep her isolated in a separate little coop or something like that. We did that with Ginger last year, and it worked.
Nugget's been Broody so many times though.
Yeah, so heritage breeds, we didn't mention this last time, but heritage breeds are more susceptible to broodiness than commercial hens. And Sunny and Henrietta here, they are both commercial breeds. They tend to live shorter lives because they're bred to be very heavy egg producers, and then I guess they go to the dog food factory after that, or wherever. It depends on the chicken farm. In their older age, after about 2 years, they lay way less, and that is true with these birds. And with our birds, they lay less because we don't give them artificial light or heat in the winter, so it keeps them on their more natural cycle. There's nothing wrong with supplementing their heat or their light, but we just choose not to do that.
Interestingly, chickens only have a certain amount of eggs.
Like humans.
Yeah.
But way more.
Yeah.
Because they lay every day, and humans lay once a month. And it takes a whole week.
So, if you don't give them supplemented light and they don't lay during the winter, then they actually lay for a longer period of time throughout their life because
right, instead of 2 years for say Sunny or Henrietta, maybe they would lay, in our case, until Sunny just passed away, and she was laying until it got cold. So, and we are guesstimating that she was 5.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go change the water. I feel like when we just talk a long time to the phone, or me, I just go off the rails a little bit.
I wanted to show you this. Look. It has like a
there's a bump.
bump, and you can feel it. I was staring at it quite a lot earlier because I've never seen one like that before.
Yeah, that's weird. I
You can
wonder.
feel it.
And there's a crack, not a crack, but like.
But there's a line that goes through the bump.
Oh, and it's all the way. So that happens with a lot of eggs. It kind of is like a wrinkle.
Yeah.
But that looks like it's in like a
Curious to see.
a straight line that goes all the way around the egg almost. And then yeah, so hold on.
You know what it's almost like? It's like it cracked, and then it has like a patch, like her body made a patch on it.
Yeah, like some spackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, very hard to capture here on the. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see it.
Oh, look at the bloom on
right
this
there.
egg.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm thinking this is Peep because it was just a really heavy bloom.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah. So guys, one thing about your eggs, if they're relatively clean like this, there's no need to wash them. And if you don't wash them, they last a lot longer because eggshells are porous, and when they're laid, they have, I guess that stuff?
Yeah, so it's called a bloom, and it's the hen's way of protecting the egg from bacteria.
Yeah, so when you wash it, wash that off, your eggs become susceptible to penetration from the outside contaminants and whatnot, and that is why you refrigerate your eggs. We refrigerate our eggs regardless, but we don't wash them unless, like, we'll wash this one, but that's only because it's kind of
just a little spot on it.
kind of gross. But yeah, if you want your eggs to last a long time, don't wash them. Of course, if you're buying store-bought eggs, they're pre-washed for you.
Yeah.
And they usually wash them because they get crap all over them. But since we have very few chickens, and we have our setting is not what they would do in a factory farm setting, this is totally doable. And you can do that up to as many chickens as you want. You just have to be diligent. Okay, let's change their water. Bam, clean water. And it looks like Nugget is not Broody. She's out of the nest box, pecking away at this and that. Here's a little disclaimer. So anytime that I explain something on a vlog about the chickens, and I describe the way that we care for chickens, that does not mean that that's the best way or the only way or the exact proper way to do chicken care. That's just the way that we do it. And the knowledge that I have is based off of just living around them. I could have some of that information incorrect. One thing for sure, though, is they love sunflower seeds. And that was an example of the pecking order being enforced. So little Phoebe here, the gray one with the mohawk there, she is the lowest. And you might remember, where is she? Peep, the other gray one there. She was a big bully for a while. She's a lot better, but she just pecked her because she's higher on the pecking order.
Did you notice Henrietta just pushed everyone out of the way by just growling? Like, she doesn't even peck, she just...
Right. See, yeah, right there. She just turned around and the other chicken...
Yeah. She doesn't even ever peck them. She just kind of, they just know.
Yeah, hardly ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the big boss, and likely when she goes into retirement, much like Sunny, Peep here will be the next boss, or Blue, Big Blue. There, look at that, big fluffy butt. There we go. Everyone getting along. Famous last words. Everyone getting along, more or less, in their new environment. This is not as big as what they're used to, but it is sufficient space. Not ideal for what they're used to, but it is what it is. It's better than dying by freezing to death. Ashley sweeps it in, and then Blue just kicks it back out. Or not. Oh, there we go.
They already got some shavings in their water, too.
Of course they did. So when they do this digging around, they're just looking for little bugs and stuff. There isn't any, well, there might be a few in here because we buy the shavings, but there's not much to really go after. We can put sunflower seeds, we can put mealworms, we can put, whatever else in there, scratch, and they can dig for that, but there's nothing really wild in there. Although when we have leaves and stuff that we have left over from last fall, when we have leaves thrown in there, when we do that, man, they love that because there are bugs in there. They don't eat ladybugs though. I wonder why. Oh.
I hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
I wish they would all just get along.
Another positive about the plastic being here is that it's clear, whereas the drop sheets that we had before were not. So a lot more natural light will be coming in during the day. We don't like to use plastic if we don't have to, because you know it's not the greatest material. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Oh, you see how Henrietta is doing that with her beak? What's the purpose of that, Ashley?
I think it cleans it off.
Cleans it off?
Maybe they also like trim it down a little bit, like sand it down.
Yeah. So if you guys remember, Sunny, we showed you guys that her beak was getting shortened again from some sort of accident here or there. But actually, in the last week or so, it was almost back to its broken normal. So it was about the same length as her bottom beak, her top beak was. And she started doing this again, which was a good sign.
All three of them drinking out of the dish at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, and then there comes Ginger. Is she going in for a drink? Nope. Look how tall Henrietta gets. When we introduce... What's that?
She's trying to get up onto that shelf.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's going to go. Oh, fail. So someone had suggested it maybe if we just put fishing line across, that might work. But for whatever reason, I've heard of other people doing that. Well, more so for keeping predators out. But if there's not something in the way, as you can see, they saw the plastic there. Like, that's very seeable. Yeah, fishing line would be less visible. They would definitely fly through it. So, yeah, we have heard of that. In a sense, but we decided not to do that. I was going to say something about when she was standing up tall like that. It's similar to she does that plus fans out her feathers, like her wing feathers, when we introduce new birds, and it's like a cocky like strut that she does. Like she's like, I'm the boss here. She'll like her wings will fold all the way down or open all the way up, and her tail feathers will fan out, and then she'll like pace back and forth, since we keep our new birds kind of separate, and then we'll free range them together, and then we'll put them in the hospital coop, which is in our main coop, and she'll like strut back and forth when they're together. It's kind of funny, but she's just basically saying that she's the boss. Maybe we'll be able to show that in the future when we get some new birds, because we would like to get some birds that lay blue eggs, because Minnie and Peep there are like, nah, how about just regular pinkish hue to like a creamy tan colored egg. We have our eye on a couple different breeds. Ashley is pretty sure that we're gonna get, what are they called?
Cream leg bars.
Cream leg bars. And I like the Americana. Is that what they're called? And then there was another one called something Kana else, some other Kana, right? Or maybe I'm just don't know what I'm talking about. There's so many different types of chickens, guys. It is weird.
I knew there were so many different.
There's hundreds of breeds.
Yeah.
And they all have their own look to them. And then, of course, there's, what are they called when they're not considered a separate breed yet? I forget what those are called, but when they are trying to make a new breed by breeding, like, say, for example, they might breed her, she's a Cochin, and maybe Phoebe there, if she was a rooster. She's a silky cross with a Cochin, but this one has mottled feathers. If they wanted a silky, they probably already have one, but a silky that had this pattern, they might breed those two together, and then they would eventually come up with a new breed. That probably already exists, because that seems like an obvious one to me. She's just half silky, half Cochin. Anyway, guys, I could just keep rambling on and on and on, and that might get boring. So, thank you for watching another vlog, another unplanned vlog. This is the third one in a row. Stay tuned for the regular scheduled vlog that will come out next. Maybe. We'll see. So this closet actually is, used to be my, this is a weird place to squat. This used to be part of our bathroom.